If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you, here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out.
Cassandra Ventura, the singer known as Cassie, the key witness for the prosecution at Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial. On the witness stand on Tuesday, she gave her version of events of that now infamous videotape security footage of Combs beating her at a hotel in Los Angeles in 2016. Cassie telling jurors that she was involved in one of the freak-offs, the highly orchestrated sexual encounters that Combs had over the years. She was at the hotel with him. She wanted to leave the freak-off early because Combs had hit her and given her a black eye. She said she had a movie premiere scheduled for later, and she didn't want to mess that up. So she thought safest approach would be to leave the hotel and go home. Cassie said she grabbed her belongings, walked down the hall to the elevator, and as we see in that footage, Combs in a white bath towel walks down the hall after her, hits her, knocks her to the ground, kicks her, and then attempts to drag her back to the room. Cassie on the witness stand saying that the next thing I knew as she was bending down to put on her shoes was that I was thrown to the ground. She said she stayed on the floor as Combs grabbed her belongings and moved to take them back to the room. She said she felt safest on the floor. She didn't want him to do any more damage to her. When asked by a prosecutor how many other times Combs had knocked her to the ground like that, Cassie replied, "Too many to count. I don't know." Combs has pleaded not guilty. His lawyers say, if anything, the video and the testimony about violence points to domestic violence, not racketeering and sex trafficking, the charges in this case. The trial resumes on Wednesday. Cassie back on the stand for more testimony.
Let me start off by saying this right here, right? Because here it is, I mean, we got, Cassidy, putting it out there that's saying that, hey, P. Diddy had me doing all this stuff and I was terrified of him and, he forced me to do that, he forced me to do this. And, when we look at some of the testimony of some of the escorts, a lot of the escorts are saying that, hey, she was the one that was paying. She was the one that was making the calls. And whether, you or I believe that or not, this is what the escort is saying. So we got to give his word some validity. Now, that right there will cause one, especially a jury member, that will cause one to think like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, how can you say Diddy is forcing you to do anything when you the main one paying? When you the main one making the calls? When you the main one searching online looking for escorts and all that old type of stuff. So it would appear that, hey, you know what? These are just two adults and they just freaky. They just like doing freaky stuff. That's what it would appear like. Now, the details of what they did and all that, of course, some of us would say, man, that's disgusting, man. She said that P. Diddy and an escort was standing over her while she was high off ecstasy, peeing in her face so much that she was choking on the pee. P. Diddy had to tell the escort, hey, calm down, man. I mean, chill out, Because when they had her down there, I guess they must have told her, open your mouth too, while we peeing in your face. That type of stuff to the normal person or the, people that don't go that way is like, we look at that like that's disgusting, but people do it all the time. The fact that he was having her have unprotected sex with escorts and stuff like that to the point where she was constantly infected with UTIs to the point where her body wouldn't even take antibiotics. She had to take opiates and stuff like that. She complained about, doing oral sex so much that she had sores on her tongue and stuff like that. I mean, like, to the average person, we look at that and we say, oh man, oh my God, how dare you? And then this is your woman. How could you let somebody treat your woman like that? But the way that it looks, calm down, ladies, because I know how y'all is. Y'all real emotional. Y'all mad already, probably done changed the channel. Just calm down because I'm going to get down to it. Y'all know I keep it 100 all the way through. And I know you fellas is like, yeah, hood, yeah. No, y'all calm down too, because you know we gonna get down to it, right? But as it stands, and as you know, the escorts are testifying and stuff like that, they are really putting it out there like Cassie was a willing participant in everything that went down. One of the escorts even said that when they asked him to urinate on Cassie, he said he just started urinating like he just started peeing like he would pee in the toilet. And they said, "Whoa, no, oh no, you don't do it like that. Just let it out a little bit at a time. Put some here, put some there. Don't just engulf me with your urine. No, 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 no. Just give me increments of the urine." He said he never did it before, so he ain't know what he was doing. He just, y'all want me to urinate on it? All right, cool. And he got to letting loose on it. Oh, whoa, you doing too much. Hold on, wait a minute. You just let it, they want that slow drip. So, with all this and everything that came out, it appears that she was a willing participant in the freak-offs, right? And that's why Diddy is saying that, hey, man, we were just freaky. This is what we was doing. And I hear a lot of people, they're saying that, hey, look, it just sounds like they are freaks. Where's the crime? There's no crime in being a freak. And I would have to agree with that. If you freaky and you want to do what you want to do in your bedroom, hey, that's what y'all do. But the crime comes in right here. When Cassie gets to talk about being forced to do things. You can't force somebody to do something that they do not want to do. That's where the crime comes at. Listen, the prosecution in this case is not dumb. That's why the prosecution is asking the questions that they are asking. Did you want to do that? No, I didn't want to do it. Oh. You said that he made you have sex or have, freak-offs with escorts while you was on your period? Yeah. Did you want to do that? No, I didn't want to do it. Oh. Okay? So that's why the prosecution is asking questions like that, because when she say no, but then she still did it, that shows the force. That shows the manipulation. And that is a crime. Now, I know a lot of y'all saying, wait, hood educated, what type of crime is that? Man, if she's still doing it and all that. Look, a lot of people, when we hear sex trafficking, we just automatically think that, you got to traffic somebody to have sex with them. That's a part of it. That's not the whole thing of it. We got to understand, us layman persons, not lame, but layman persons, we got to understand that the words that we interpret today, like when we say traffic, it's driving and stuff like that and all that, mobile and all that. No, these things mean something different from a legal standpoint. You got to understand that. Listen, the court has its own dictionary. The dictionary that we use as people, you go to the store and buy one, that's not the same dictionary that the court uses. You gotta understand that. So the words that mean things to us, like traffic, we like, oh, okay, yeah. That means, I'm riding or I'm mobile or, I'm saying I'm in traffic. It's a lot of stuff going on and all. That don't mean that in the legal dictionary. So let's look at trafficking. Because we do understand, before we read trafficking, let's understand this right here. The crime in trafficking. You have male escorts going across state lines and you are paying them for sex. That's a crime. That's a crime. And if Cassie is saying that she was forced to do these things and you taking her across state lines to have sex, that's a crime. Because you're forcing her to do something that she don't want to do, and this force is taking her all the way to New York, all the way to Miami, all the way to California. Those are crimes. Check it out. Federal sex trafficking laws, primarily defined under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, TVPA, and related statutes, generally encompass the following elements. Action. This refers to the specific activities undertaken by the trafficker. Recruiting, actively targeting, and engaging individuals for exploitation. Harboring, providing shelter or accommodation while maintaining control over the individual. Transporting, moving the individual from one location to another for the purpose of exploitation. Providing, making the individual available to others for commercial sex acts. Obtaining, taking possession or control of an individual for the purpose of exploitation. Soliciting, offering something of value in exchange for commercial sex acts. Patronizing, receiving something of value in exchange for commercial sex act. Means, this refers to the method used by the trafficker to control and exploit the individual. Force, physical violence, sexual abuse, or confinement. Fraud, deception, false promises, or misrepresentation about work or living conditions. Coercion, threats of harm, debt bondage, psychological manipulation, or document confiscation. Purpose, this is the intended outcome or goal of the trafficking activity, which is to exploit the individual for commercial sex acts. Important notes. Child sex trafficking. In cases where the victim is under 18, the means, elements, force, fraud, or coercion is not required to establish sex trafficking. The act of recruiting, harboring, etc. a minor for commercial sex is itself a crime, regardless of whether force, fraud, or coercion is used. Commercial sex act. This is defined as any sex act performed in exchange for something of value. Interstate or foreign commerce. While not a required element, listen to what they're saying, while not a required element for all sex trafficking offenses, many federal cases involve the movement of victims across state or international borders, which falls under federal jurisdiction. Victims' consent. Now this right here is a doozy. Victims' consent. Even if the victim initially consented to engage in commercial sex, if force, fraud, or coercion is subsequently used to continue their exploitation, it still constitutes sex trafficking. Focus on traffickers' conduct. The analysts primarily focus on the trafficker's actions and intent rather than the victim's action or initial consent. Now, do y'all see what I'm saying? Do y'all see what trafficking, sex trafficking really means? I mean, you like, what? How is that? In the court of law, that's what it means. Yeah, they don't care about what you think and what you believe trafficking. No, it's their interpretation of the law. They create the law, so they interpret it on their own and say, this is what trafficking is. Not what you think it is, or not what you want it to be. So here it is, according to what we just read, or what I just read for y'all. It's not looking too good for Diddy. You know, it's not looking too good right now. It's not looking too good for him. Do me a favor. Let's pause for a minute. If you ain't subscribed to the channel already, hit that subscribe button. If you ain't hit the thumb up, hit that thumbs up. Now, if we would like to understand the whole demonstration about Cassie and you know, this lawsuit and stuff like that, we got to listen to what she said on the stand. And this right here just blew my mind. I'm talking about this right here just blew me. Because here it is, she said that she wrote a book. She started having flashbacks of what Diddy did. Now this is years later. This right here is 2 kids later. She married and everything now. And she just started having these flashbacks all of a sudden. Shit just started pop all in her mind, right? And during these flashbacks, she got the thought, I should write a book. Yeah, I should express all the nasty, disgusting stuff that was happening to me and everything. I'm going to write a book. And when she wrote the book, guess who was the first person that she wanted to read the book? P. Diddy. Why? That's the question I got. This is the big bad boogeyman. This man right here put you through so much trauma, and I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not discrediting what she said, what happened to her. Because if that happened to her, then hey man, that's messed up. Diddy foul for all that beating on her and stuff like that. That's foul, right? I don't agree with that. However, the first person that she wants to read the book is Diddy. But the cold-blooded part about her wanting him to read the book is that she's trying to sell the book for $30 million. That right there got to be the most expensive book in human history. Who y'all know write a book, a tell-all book, and say they want $30,000? Come on, man. I mean, I was born at night, but not last night. You want $30,000 for a book that's describing how you was humiliated? And the first person that you want to read this book is the perpetrator that was humiliating you? Not the police. Not Barnes and Nobles. Not one of these people that make these movies and stuff like that. No, not Mel Gibson and all. No, not them. I want him to read it. Come on, we hood educated, not lame related. We know why you want him to read it. We know why you want him to be the first one to get the copy. So that you can lay down your lick. Listen. To me, this appears to be extortion. Look, I want $30 million for the book. If you don't give me $30 million for the book, I'm finna put it all out there. Straight like that. What is that called? Is that blackmail? Or is that extortion? Check it out. Blackmail is a form of extortion where someone threatens to reveal damaging information about another person unless they meet certain demands, usually involving money or other valuables. Here's a breakdown of blackmail. Definition: blackmail involves an unwarranted demand with menace. It's considered a crime where someone threatens to expose embarrassing, disgraceful, or damaging facts or rumors unless they are paid off to remain silent. Y'all see why she wanted P. Diddy to read that book first? She knew what time it was. You know, y'all see what I'm saying? So, all that, it's making me question everything about her now. And I just got to be 100. I mean, I understand all the bad stuff that happened to her. Hey, man, that's messed up. But it makes me question her motives. The money grab. You see? At the end of the day, all that pain and suffering, yeah, that's bad. But you didn't run to the police even when he beat her down. Y'all remember that hotel video? I got the complete video now on my other channel over there. The link gonna be pinned at the top of the comment section. If y'all want to go see the complete video, go over there, get you a membership, check that out, and other content that I got over there. But I got the complete video. Do y'all know what happened after? Because she got able to leave. The security guard came up there and said, hey, hold on, no, wait a minute. Y'all got to chill with all this. Y'all, this is an expensive hotel. We can't have this type of stuff in here. Hey, man, chill out. She finna go. Got her belongings and left. When she left and got into the Uber, According to what she said, she got into an Uber, but the security guard said, no, the person that she got in the car with, she knew him. They knew each other. That's what the security guard said, because he was right there when she got into the SUV. And at that time, he asked her, hey, do you want me to call the police? And guess what she said? No. After he just kicked her and threw her down on the ground and all that old type of stuff, and this is right after a freak off, she said, no, don't call the police. She, years later, whatever, she wrote the book and all that, and she never gave it to the police. Now, here it is, she gave it to P. Diddy. Why? Because she wanted to scare the living hell out of him. She basically telling him, look, check this out, man. I'm going to put this book out here and destroy your whole image and destroy your empire. Give me 30 million. P. Diddy said, no, I'll give you 20 million. And if y'all can remember my video when the accusations first came out, I said in my video, I said, he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have paid her. Because now that he paid her, he's basically admitting his wrongs. And when he made that video, he was basically admitting his wrongs. And when he paid her, he basically was saying, you know what you saying is true, and so I'm going to pay you for it. Don't release the book. But the play already been designed. Look, I want that 30 million up out you. She ain't get 30, she got 20. A $20 million extortion is what just happened. I know a lot of people probably don't want to agree with it. I know, but look, come on, we got to keep it. We're not taking away from what happened to her. We're not taking away from that. But what we are saying is that, look, come on, y'all. Is we gonna be fair here, or is we gonna just, come on? That's just like somebody coming to you right now telling you, hey, look, check this out. I remember you had let me, pee all on you. You let me slap you up and call you all out your name, throw you across the room, stick my finger in you, and do all this to you, and then put your face in mop water and put this in you and put that in you and took that out you and all this old type of stuff. Now I'm finna put all this on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and all the other social media websites. But if you give me $30,000, I won't post it. I'll leave it alone. That's extortion. That's blackmail. And that's exactly what happened to P. Diddy. But the cold-blooded part about him, he paid all that money thinking that it was going to go away. Nah. Nah. She put too much information out there already. It already came out there. Like, nah, the government say, nah, we want him. We got to have him for all this illegal activity that he did. We got to have him. But one thing before I depart, I need y'all to understand. She said that P. Diddy raped her. This is after they was done with their relationship and all that. They sat down to kind of have some closure type thing and all that. And she invited him back to knowing what type of demon he is, knowing what type of low down dirty dog that he is. She know that because she done experienced it for years, for 10 years. She invited him back and he acted the way that he act. And he raped her, according to what she said. But after that rape, according to her, she continued to have sex with him. Come on. And if you notice, he is not charged with rape. And she said that he did, but he is not charged with that. No. Because the government know, hey, come on now, you saying the man raped you, but you constantly having sex with him. Come on, yeah, we ain't gonna do that right there. That ain't gonna work. But I just want to let, you know, the hood educated residents know that from my standpoint as of right now, and I want to let the guests know too, from my standpoint as of right now, it's up in the air. You know, it's up in the air because if you got some jurors on there that's leaning towards, you know, Diddy way, they gonna look at it like, come on, man, y'all just freaks and stuff like that, and you trying to say that he forced her. Nah, he ain't forced her. She went on her own. You know, you got people that think like that, but then you got some people that think according to the law and say, well, you know, she said that she didn't want to do it, and according to the law, this is force. Then this is sex trafficking. You know what I mean? So with me, I'm still undecided because I'm talking about, I can't wait for Diddy's lawyers to get up in here and do their homework, because I know they're going to be asking real cold-blooded questions. And I can't wait, and I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to break that down to y'all too, because one of the questions that I can see right now, because being that I see that this is a money grab, I believe that their whole relationship was based on sex, money, and drugs. My portion of understanding, I believe that their whole relationship was based on sex, money, drugs, and hold on, one more, and domestic violence. That's what I truly believe. You know what I'm saying? And in that type of stuff, in that type of environment, you're gonna have everything that she's talking about. She's gonna have everything that she's talking about: sex, money, drugs, and domestic violence. And so what they need to be doing, or what I believe that they will do, is this right here. Because the money part, she wants some money. She money hungry. You know, Diddy cut that ward off. They got, you know, couldn't pay rent and stuff like that. So she probably like, nah, I got to bust a move. What I would do if I was the attorneys, I would gather up all the stuff that Diddy bought for her. All the stuff, all the money, credit cards that he gave her, all the money and stuff like that he gave her, cars, houses, and all that old type of stuff. Just to show to the jury that, hey, man, look, it was sex, money, drugs, and domestic violence. This is just how some people live, and they lived it for 10 years. Every time that it was a freak off, she would pay the freak off people's the money and stuff like that to make Diddy happy, because she wanted to keep Diddy happy. She'll do the freak offs and stuff like that, but she'll get a big old deposit in the bank right after every freak off. She'll get a car, she'll get a house, she'll get a new purse, she'll get clothes after every freak off. And after I demonstrate a measure like that, I'll say she sound like a prostitute to us. And I just got to keep it real, because this is the stuff that happened. This is the stuff that happened. And that just, like I say, that's just my portion of understanding. I know a lot of y'all probably ain't going to agree with it. Some of y'all will agree with it. But at the same time, I'm just giving y'all what I believe. I could be wrong. When them lawyers get in there and get the questioner, they not finna play with her. And I just can't wait to see how she responds. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Now, before I depart, allow me to give a shout out to some of the blessings that I had received this week. Juana Thomas for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. Reginald Holmes for the $7 Cash App. Thank you. Robert Chapman for the $2 Cash App. Thank you. Sheridan Johnson for the $10 Cash App. Thank you. Bernice Cox for the $10 Cash App. Thank you. And last but not least, Cordell Lawson for the $5 Cash App. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love. And y'all take care of yourself out there.